The console wars are officially over, and I have to admit that I didn't really expect this bloodbath to go so badly for everybody. Like,
Oh no.
in the conversation of
You know it's bad. He's got both of them in his hands. Oh shit.
PlayStation versus Xbox, historically, a lot of times we talk about the raw digits, who's selling the most games, the controllers, the consoles, and in that way, Sony is way, way, way out in the front. Like, they have over 80 million PlayStation 5s, whereas when it comes to Xbox, they're not even reporting on their numbers, but the rough estimates is that they've sold about 30 million Xboxes. So when it comes to just those raw numbers, it's a blowout. But I have to say that the weird part of this is that in a lot of ways, Sony has never gotten so dang lazy. They're more profitable than they've ever been. They're bigger than they've ever been.
Yo, talk that shit. Isn't this crazy? And I say it every single time, and there's people, no, fuck Dreamcast guy. And listen, I get it. He's a grifter. He's gonna say Xbox is dead. Probably he's gonna say it in this video. But isn't it odd that he's the only one standing on business? I find it odd, right? He's the only one that made a PS5 is dead video, right? No one else wanted to make a time to jump ship video. I don't know. Yet again, he's leading the pack, a Dreamcast guy.
They're straight up just posting financial reports that they consider themselves the king of gaming. But in a lot of ways, both...
Oh, but you considered them the king of gaming. Boy, see, here now they're switching up. Now they're seeing through the bullshit. Now they're saying, wait a minute, how important are these console sales?
Sony and Xbox have kind of been destroyed by this console war in a way that I just really am still feel like the dust is still settling. Historically, I'm the kind of guy where, obviously, I've been gaming since the Atari 2600. And historically, console wars were about the exclusives. Like, even in books about it, the whole thing was originally...
Wow, this man is a console war professional. Holy shit, this dude got books. Excuse the hell out of me. I mean, damn, we thought this was the guy just grifter. Like, no, this guy has read up on this shit, boy. Maybe this is why he's jumping ahead of everyone else. I mean, goddamn, talk that shit, Dreamcast guy. We might learn something today.
Hey, here's Mario versus Sonic, or even, stuff like the PlayStation 1. Here's these early 3D graphics. Here's full cutscenes for Final Fantasy VII. That's the stuff that sold systems. That's the stuff that sold hype. That's the stuff that made you actually want to pick up the controller of your choice. Whereas,
and I mean, I can give credit to that because I mean, I feel like the earlier consoles were actually innovative, right? But again, I feel like we've kind of reached that graphical peak, and I don't even really want devs to focus on graphics anymore. Honestly, I'd rather them focus on art direction. But I can see what he's saying because I remember when I went from like the plain old Xbox to the 360, like seeing that graphical jump, that shit blew my goddamn mind.
Now we're in this strange spot where PlayStation is starting to put their games on Xbox. They've released financial reports saying essentially they're excited to put more games on Xbox. Whereas,
oh, but does that mean that they're dead?
Microsoft first-party stuff has gone completely third-party. The only copies of Xbox games that are selling at this point are selling on PlayStation. That's not even a joke. We're going to take a look at the numbers. But I really want to break this all down because a lot of people, now that the console wars are over, it seems like a lot of the fans are just basically saying, okay, are we better or worse? Has the lack of competition, the lack of fight from Xbox made PlayStation?
And there we go with competition cope. This is something that they all run with. No competition. I don't know. It seems like Xbox was competing, right? It seems like Xbox was moving forward in a different direction, and now it seems like PlayStation is trying to catch up, right? Now, this is just my opinion. I mean, I don't know.
Lazier than they've ever been because, like, just consider this. I like my PlayStation. I game on PS5 a lot, but at this
boy, you love that PlayStation, boy.
Point, what are the crazy exclusives that make me extremely excited to have bought a PS5 day one, right?
None.
I mean, Returnal was great, Spider-Man 2 was great, God of War Ragnarok, Astrobot, like there are good games, but the fact that I can list them on one hand, I think it's a significant sign about the generation from PlayStation 4 to...
Oh, boy, we've been able to list them on one hand. See, now they're waking up. But you know what? Better late than never. I get it.
PlayStation 5, even if PS5 won, even if Xbox is dead, I do think we've kind of lost something. And I want to break that down. Let's get into it.
Oh, so PlayStation didn't lose, right? Xbox lost, but us as gamers, we lost something. I think that we actually gained something. The fact that these companies are going to have to put their games everywhere if they want to actually sell them, I think that's a plus for consumers. Because now if they want to sell these consoles, even though I think these consoles are looking like they're about to go extinct, you know, I know my console warriors are going to be upset about that. I mean, now if they still want to sell a console, they're going to actually have to innovate and provide it with features instead of just, you know, holding games hostage, paywalling video games.
Hi, I am DreamcastGuy, and if you could please give this video stirred this up. Subscribe if you haven't already. Now, this is part of what sort of stirred this up. I saw a lot of people screaming about this tweet last night, which is from Destin Legary, where he said, "Packet of console wars, it's time to retire." Now, undeniably, as a person now that's been covering...
And boy, they are on his ass. Boy, Destin knows what he's doing. Shit, Destin has been trolling his ass off these past few months. I give him credit, boy. He be getting them upset on Twitter.
Video games pretty much every day for the last 10 years on this YouTube channel. It is wild to see an official thing. This is PlayStation.com. This isn't photoshopped. It's an actual screenshot of PlayStation.com that says, hey, do you want to buy a PlayStation game? Because Helldivers 2 is funded partially by Sony.
It's almost like they're third party, man. It's almost like they multi-platform, right? And you was sitting there a couple weeks ago talking about, is it going to be the good games? Is it going to be the bad games? I mean, goddamn, dog. I know this is hitting home. It's okay, brother. You'll get through it.
This is a PlayStation project. Buy it on Xbox. A link to take you from PlayStation.com to Xbox.com.
No!
That's a wild thing to see. Now,
what? Oh, no. Oh, no. A link to take you to Xbox to buy their game? It's almost like they want you to buy their game. They don't give a fuck about all this other shit. And how you guys couldn't understand that, how you guys couldn't wrap your mind around it to this day. It will always baffle me.
In the comments, everybody is basically being like, yeah, man, Xbox has been dead for a long time. The remaining Xbox fanboys enjoy the games as a service games. Yeah, 80 million versus 30.
And look, and this is all the PlayStation fanboys. 80 million versus 30 million. Yeah, it's over. Console sales, console sales, console sales.
Yes, it's over. So a lot of people are like, yet here you are, still console warring. The console war has been over since 4/16/2024, my boy. A lot of people are basically...
yeah, and you see now, if the console war has been over, then how is this popping up on your feed? Then how come it's affecting you enough to interact with it, right? And don't get me wrong, I do think the console war has been over, but what's happening is the PlayStation fanboys, right? And not even just the PlayStation fanboys. I guess you could say the Xbox fanboys too, but I don't know. They don't make as much of a fool of themselves, or at least from what I've seen. I mean, now the new cope out is, oh, you guys are console warring. You guys are console warring. But you saying the console war is over, you're console warring. It's like, oh, boy, you guys are just so goddamn down bad. Just get over it.
They're saying, look, man, ever since basically Xbox started putting every single game on PlayStation, the console wars have been over. Like, this is the kind of stuff that's super, super, super bizarre. This is an actual tweet from Ninja Theory, a major, expensive Xbox studio, and they're saying, hey, the best place to play our games is on a PS5 Pro. This is bizarre to see. I have to admit that...
No, that's not what they said. They said one of the best reasons to own a PS5 Pro is to play that game. That's what they said, which is sad that an Xbox game, right? An Xbox game that... I was told it was just a tech demo. I was told that when it comes to PlayStation, nobody's going to want to play that shit. That's what I was told. And I don't know, man. Like, I just find it funny because I knew that when it came to PlayStation, that people were going to hype it, people were going to glaze it. It seemed like the type of game that they would love, right? But their hatred for Xbox, right? It blinded them, you know what I mean? But now that it's come over, you know, and everything, now we're hearing it's the best reason to own a PS5 Pro. What do you know?
It's still just weird. An Xbox studio promoting to buy a game on PlayStation is kind of the same.
Yeah, an Xbox studio promoting, and then mind you, what we just seen on the website where they're promoting Helldivers. And I mean, these guys are missing the ball. They're missing the prize. They don't understand words are just words. These companies will say anything, right? Just like how the actor, she was saying, oh, it feels good to come home. She wants sales. They want sales. They want money. They'll tell you all that, right? Who knows? Maybe it might be true, right? She wants sales. She wants to get into y'all pockets. What do you guys not understand about that?
Looks the exact same on the base PS5 and PS5 Pro. Stop it. Oh, man. It's just, to me, I think we've hit this point where a lot of people are saying, okay, Xbox is out of the race. Yes, the best place to play Xbox games, other than PC, obviously PC will always be king, is on a PS5 Pro. How weird is that? But this is the thing, is that I do believe that while Xbox has been in the corner, just full force punching themselves in the dick for years now, in a lot of ways, it feels like PlayStation.
And I'm glad that you said that, because that just shows what you would consider this. You think that Microsoft has just been in the corner, or Xbox has just been in the corner punching itself in the dick. Does that mean that PlayStation is now going over to the corner and punching itself in the dick? But I'm glad that you are, providing your analysis. I thought you read a book on console warring. Was this in one of the chapters? I mean, what is this guy talking about?
Has picked up the stupidest lesson from all this console war business, which is all that matters is playtime hours. Like, historically, what made Sony so great? What made PlayStation sell so many things, right? It was probably single player, focused stories. Characters you care about, worlds you care about, things where it's not just, hey, this game is good. It's, hey, I want to buy into that ecosystem to see what comes next. I care about Nathan Drake. I want to see the next Uncharted. I care about Kratos. I want to see the next God of War. Or even there's talks about a spin-off of God of War Ragnarok where we play as Loki. I care about that. But to Sony and to a lot of these companies, admittedly, they have this weird idea that what matters isn't fun. It's not award-winning games and stuff like that. It's about play hours. So many companies think it's not if you're having fun, it's if you're spending time online. So they've been really heavily pushing billions and billions of dollars into this live service.
And I'm not going to lie, this shit right here, this shit looks like Concord 2.0, right? I mean, this shit looks like garbage. I mean, goddamn. And look who he's reading. Our boy MBG. Do you think Sony should cancel their upcoming live service game, Fair Games? Oh, they want them to cancel. Now, don't get me wrong. I wouldn't get mad if they canceled this game. I think that would be the right move. But they're going to keep on trying and trying over and over and over again. They want the live service games. They need that money. They really, really do. They need that money.
Slop. A lot of which still hasn't even come out yet. Like, consider the fact that Fair Games, they bought this studio that had never released a game. And remember, they did that same thing with Fire Sprite. That's what came out with Concord and then immediately shut them down. They bought this studio called Haven, making this like looter shooter co-op bank heist game. Haven
Trash.
Studios, Fair Games.
Yeah, I mean, it just sounds like garbage. I'm not even going to lie to you, but continue.
Still haven't even seen this. They showed this, and we still haven't even seen this. Look at all the comments. Great. Another Concord 2. Not going to lie.
Yeah, it does look like Concord. You had to scroll up quick because them comments were getting nasty.
Everybody now is at a point where I saw this tweet literally right before I started filming it. The biggest mistake Sony ever made recently was getting rid of Andrew House and then getting rid of Sean Layden. PlayStation started doing this.
The guy who wanted to raise prices up. Okay.
Stupid stuff when Jim...
I'm glad they got rid of this fucking clown. This guy is insane.
Ryan took over, says securities analyst Michael Pachter. Now, Michael Pachter has been talking a lot about this stuff specifically because it does seem like Michael Pachter realizes after studying PlayStation for so many years that it does feel like they've...
Oh, the boy need to get a life studying PlayStation. He looked like a little fucking dweeb. Nigga, let it go. Let it go. The console war is over. These guys are going back, trying to revise history on what it should have been and what they should have done. Let it go. It happened. It's done with.
Figured out what works and then just consciously chose not to do it. Like, PlayStation made the best exclusives and then said, okay, what if we stopped caring about that passion, that polish, that unique...
No, they just didn't have the money to continue making those games. Those games had really large budgets. If anything, that's why they're trying to tap into the live service so they can get money to fund those types of projects.
Japanese fingerprints to a lot of their stories that were so good. What if we just gave all that up to basically make slop? And a lot of people were just immediately saying...
Hey, well, some of their single-player games were slop. Well, let's call it for what it is, right? Spider-Man 2, slop. God of War Ragnarok, in my opinion, slop. Wait a minute, buddy.
This is so dumb.
Oh, wait, The Last of Us Part 2, slop. I mean, there were slop games, single-player games too, my friend.
This is one of the biggest PlayStation fans on the planet. Pio literally ate a...
Coming from this guy.
PlayStation box. This guy is obsessed with PlayStation. Putting all their eggs in the games as a service basket with single player studios is something so stupid it needs to be studied. And he actually brings up a good point.
How does it need to be studied when we've heard executives say that like the cost of these games, they're costing like 100 million, 200 million, 300 million. They're trying to start up live service games because they're trying to get a piece of that pie because they know there's a lot of money to it. What do you guys not understand about that? Like these guys think that, and this is what I mean. This is what happens when you start talking about quality and all this shit. These guys think that these single player games that they love, right? These cinematic games, they think they're just made with love and care. They don't understand that, there's money needed to make those games.
They've been having their single player studios not just, all right, we're going to work on live service over here. You guys start making games as a service instead of your single player games. Why the heck was Naughty Dog wasting years and years and years on a Last of Us MMO that never came out? Stuff like that is not just expensive. It seems so...
It's just stupidity. It's stupidity, and they failed. Companies fail. It happens. What happened? What's crazy is we're hearing the flack about that, right? I mean, I thought you guys weren't aware of this shit. As much as you guys like to cover layoffs and all this shit with Xbox, right? I mean, I'm just saying, there's been a lot of games that they've canceled, a lot of games that done fell apart, right? A lot of things that were supposed to come out that just didn't. I mean, I don't know. That's what happens. That's what happens with business, right? When you're a creative, right? Some things are going to pan out. Sometimes they're going to fail. Now, don't get me wrong. When you have that much money and you've been in business that long, you should have found a way to kind of, circumvent those errors. But nonetheless, they're still going to happen. You see them happening with Xbox. You see them happening with Sony. Like, that's just the gaming industry where we are right now. Let's just be honest, right? That's why a lot of people are playing older games.
Bafflingly stupid. But you know what? We know why they're doing this. And it's the fact that PlayStation has gotten lazy in a way that I honestly did not expect, which is this. I saw this tweet and I honestly love it. Even though it has 6 likes, I actually think this is brilliant. There is a symbiotic relationship that exists between the PlayStation ecosystem and third-party developers and publishers. Take, for example, Mafia: The Old Country. Half of their sales were on the PS5. Now, we've seen this with a lot of games now. Games where they release something, it sells moderately well. In this case, we have 2 sales.
Okay, and you see with like Capcom, right? Wasn't it Capcom? And I think another company said that most of their sales come from PC, right? I mean, congratulations, right? Most of the sales were on the PS5 Pro. I mean, there's 80 million consoles out there in circulation. I think that's good for you guys. But again, what is this statistic? What does this do for you as a player? Besides, give you guys a pat on the back. You guys supported the devs.
Games now that sold about 1 million copies, 800,000 copies sold of Mafia. 48% of them are people that bought it on PlayStation. That is wild. Look at this. PlayStation is this chunk of the pie. Steam is this chunk of the pie. Xbox is this chunk of the pie.
Hey, I mean, they're on Game Pass. They said, shit, did Mafia Old Country come to Game Pass? The funny thing is, I Googled that shit, right? As a PC guy, I said, is Mafia the Old Country coming to Game Pass? I seen it was, and I said, okay, I'll get a CD key.
I've been saying multiple times now that Xbox gamers don't buy games. And when I say that, people get pissed at me, and sometimes people don't understand. Data is this very simple.
I mean, but you just showed a chart that showed 13% of them bought the game. So people bought the game, just not as many people that had a PlayStation, or not as many people as PC. People bought the game, right? I don't know where you're coming with this assessment. What you're saying isn't correct, right? You're saying that they don't buy games. Obviously, they do buy games. They're just not buying as many games as the other platforms. What you're saying is wrong. People are just saying you're stupid. You're wrong for saying that.
There's
and on top of that, you're pocket watching as well.
And there's data. And I think sometimes people conflate it. Oh, you're saying nobody buys Xbox games, but I bought it on Xbox. Okay, you got to understand that's not what the data is, though, right?
Well, no, because people aren't just making it personal. I didn't just make it personal and say, oh, well, I bought the game on, even though I'm a PC player. I didn't try to make it personal. What I'm saying is the data is showing that 13% of the sales came from Xbox. What you need to ask yourself is, do you think Mafia would be willing to give up those 13% of sales? Because I've been hearing guys like him run around saying, oh, well, these third-party developers are going to quit putting their games on Xbox. The real question to ask is, what does that 13% of sales mean to these third-party publishers? Because you're sitting here acting like it's nothing. For all you know, they may be very happy with the money that they're making. I mean, most companies, most businesses that I know, they enjoy making money. So I don't think they'd stick their nose up to 13% of their sales coming from Xbox. I'm just saying, I don't think they'd want to miss out on 13% of their sales. You know what I mean?
Like at one point, I was very obsessed with a kid with this game called Phantom Dust. Me and all my friends bought Phantom Dust. It's like a card game, super, super fun. All of my friends were playing Phantom Dust. We love Phantom Dust. We made Phantom Dust memes because the story is super silly. To us, we thought that Phantom Dust was the biggest game in the world.
And then one day you upgraded to the Pony Dust. We get it.
But that's not the data. Phantom Dust bombed. There's a reason we never got Phantom Dust 2, 3, right? Sometimes people forget.
And he's heard about that. It's okay. You got Pony Dust now.
Outside their bubble, things are different. And the raw numbers of the fact that at this point,
he's talking about outside your bubble. Things are different. Like, buddy, from the guys who've been running around talking about console sales, only for the vice president to come out and say we're moving away from a hardware-centric, business model. I mean, I don't... And these guys want to talk about stepping outside your bubble.
PlayStation, even if they're releasing games, they don't have to. PlayStation has realized Xbox will make games that sell like crazy. A lot of this stuff, Doom is only selling actual copies on PlayStation. It's got a lot of people playing it on Game Pass, which is still super wild. But I still feel like we're in this weird spot where symbiotic is such a great way of putting this. We're in this weird spot now that is super interesting because right now, games are selling best on PlayStation, so they're optimized most on PlayStation. So
yeah, third-party games are selling best on PlayStation. We see a whole bunch of third-party games. We see a whole bunch of Microsoft games and whatnot, third-party games in the top 10. But we're not seeing the exclusives up there. That's all we're saying. Maybe that's why some of the exclusives are going to other platforms, but we'll never analyze that, right? We'll just gloss over that.
People are putting out specifically PS5 Pro patches, so they're ready to look great on the PlayStation 6 when that comes out in a couple of years.
And it wouldn't be a PlayStation fanboy video if we didn't throw in some PS5 Pro patch glaze, right? Because they're always working on an update. There's always a patch. I've said it once, I'll say it again. Mark Cerny is in a cave somewhere. Tony Stark really getting out the power of the pisser, always. Never ending.
So because of it, now people are buying games only on PlayStation. It becomes this weird cycle where people are not only treating the PlayStation...
Even though you just showed PC, and PC was fairly close? Okay. I mean, we're just being disingenuous. So people only buy games on PlayStation. Okay, well, Astro Boy entered the chat, right? Square Enix doesn't enter the chat, right? They didn't say that was the case, but go ahead, Dreamcast.
Like the default
Dreamcast guy.
System. But even developers now seem to just be dead set on, hey, we have to push the PlayStation hardest. That's where the money's at. That's where the players are at. That's where the engagement is at. That's where our money exists, which means more free infinite cash for Sony. Sony has just gotten to this weird spot where they don't have to try. And it feels really crappy.
Oh, no, and this is what I mean, but this is what you guys keep on doing. Sony's gotten in this place where they don't have to try. No, you guys are just fanboys, and you don't call them out, right? One thing that I've always made an example of is like with Game Pass, with them doing day-and-date games, right? You guys could have at least asked for one day-and-date game. At least could have gotten Astro Boy 2, right, put in there in the service. But you guys are too scared to do the shit. You guys are too chicken shit to do the shit. In fact, I've heard PlayStation fanboys, I don't know if he said it, say that leads to more quality for their games. Them not putting day-and-date first-party games in the subscription service. Like, you guys cap for this company. And the only thing that you guys have to show for it is console sales. Something that doesn't even benefit you. So there's always room for improvement. That's with everything. There's room for improvement with PC. There's room for improvement with Nintendo. Room for improvement with Xbox, room for improvement with PlayStation. But when you have fanboys who just literally suck off a corporation, well, then they're never going to improve. And they can, quote unquote, get lazy. I mean, I'm just saying, even with this, you're sitting there saying, oh, they only buy games on PlayStation. Lying. Capping for this organization, man. Even though the console wars are over, buddy. Why don't you start advocating for yourself? That's all I'm saying.
Just growing up, part of the fun of the console war was the fact that everybody was trying their hardest. Every company was trying to make the best games, the coolest stuff, the funniest marketing, the craziest business deals and stuff, because they wanted the absolute best games possible. Whereas now we've almost hit this opposite, where companies are so obsessed with these profit margins and stuff that now it's not about,
Oh, so the companies were never obsessed with profit margin. Like, dude, you're selling bullshit. You're trying to sell the console war like it was some magical experience where developers were really fighting each other. And don't get me wrong, there was competition, right? I think about like the heyday of like Halo and Gears and shit like that. And, God of War, Uncharted and everything. Like, there was hype, with E3 and whatnot. There was hype. But don't you think for 1 second it wasn't centered around money? That's what it was all about, money. We have the better games. You need to buy our system to play our games. And to be honest with you, it looks like that way of marketing games is a thing of the past. Let it go, buddy. Like, let it go. If anything, this is good news for you because you love your PlayStation. So you'll be able to play Xbox games. Who knows? Maybe in the future you'll be able to play Nintendo games, right? I mean, I'm just saying.
making the best games or having the cool stories or having the biggest, most passionate fan base. It's like, okay, how can we get you locked into an ecosystem? And now Sony's realized pretty much the entire console business is already deadlocked into their ecosystem. So they don't have to try. They don't have to make games. They don't have to put stuff out. They don't have to tell you cool stories. They can just sit back and let that money roll in.
Is that what they're doing? Is that why they're putting games on Xbox? Right? It doesn't seem like they're sitting back, right? It seems like, and it's funny because he said himself that the console war ended when Xbox put their games on PlayStation. It seems like they're doing the big no-no. I say it all the time. It seems like they're doing the no-no. It seems like they're doing the forbidden thing, right? But it's no big deal when PlayStation does it. I mean, these guys, in real time, you get to watch the flip-flop, man. They flipping like some pancakes.
And I got to admit, it's not just lazy, it's boring. I miss PlayStation games being made by PlayStation. I'm still happy to have my PS5. I'm still going to be buying games on my...
Oh, yeah, but no. You get one tentpole title. And this ain't nothing new. You get one tentpole title, son. Don't act like this is new news, right? And you guys still say that PlayStation is number one, right? You love PlayStation, so you enjoy that one tentpole title.
My PS5, because I do think it's the best place to play, but I do miss when PlayStation sat up and fucking tried. What are your thoughts, though? Tell me your thoughts in the comments down below. This is a nice little Sunday rant. I was talking about this because last night, me and my girlfriend...
Okay, we've heard enough of you. It's been your boy, Sigs and Cereal. Until next time, peace.